how obsessed I am with learning. You know, I'm always trying to get better every day, no matter if it's a super small amount or big amount. It doesn't matter. But you know, you got to have grit with this game, and especially on the O-line for sure.
Hayden, have you?
Gap or zone better?
I can block both really well. I like outside zone in terms of run game. Yeah, I like getting out there in space and reaching guys.
Hayden, have you met with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I have not.
You mentioned being a tight end. Is that something, you know, if you were eligible during a game, could you catch some passes today?
Yeah, I could definitely catch a pass if they needed me to. But you know, I feel like that's got to be earned.
Hey, there's a guy going back to Texas that we're not talking about right now, but a year from now we'll have to talk about.
It's still there right now.
Or if they transferred out, either way, you're going back to school.
I mean, DJ Campbell's the next big O lineman, same with Trevor Gooseby. But you know, I can't give enough credit to Michael Taft. I mean, Michael Taft is the heart and soul of that defense. He's one of the best leaders that I've ever been around, and you know, I can't give him enough of the spotlight.
What stands out most about him on the field?
On the field, I mean, he's always in the right spot. You know, I mean, he watches more film than, you know, really I've ever seen. You know, we normally have night movies before night games, and during the movies he'll watch film. He didn't care about the movies, so he's extremely obsessed, and that's something that I admire about him.
A lot of really tough physical players on that team line last year. Who was the guy that was kind of like the ringleader in that group?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't know how many goal line stops we had. We had a lot, and so, but it's a team effort. I mean, they all played together. They all held their gaps, and so, you know, I mean, you got Bill Norton, you got Alfred, Vernon, Jermaine. You know, I mean, they're all legit. So.
You're going to take your first paycheck at the NFL. You got to bet it on a freshman last year with Texas. Maybe it's the league in 3 years. What would you put your money on?
I wouldn't bet because that's illegal.
Well, this question is presented by fans.
Okay. On a freshman, I mean, Colin Simmons, he's not a freshman anymore, but that's an obvious choice. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really get to meet a lot of the new freshmen.
I bet, yeah, from last year though. Yeah.
From last season?
It might be Colin. What stood out most about him?
I mean, he's legit. Like he's a baby version of Micah Parsons right now. I always tell him that, I'm like, dude, you're gonna be, just keep your head straight, man. He's gonna be legit.
What was he like off the field? Like, how did he assert himself early?
He's a pretty vocal guy. Talks a lot, not in a bad way. Just, you know, he is who he is. You know.
And then last question, Arch, what did he do? You know, in the background to just make him allow himself to stay ready for his opportunity.
I mean, he prepared the same as anyone else would. You know, as the backup quarterback at the University of Texas, you got to be ready for anything. And whenever he got his opportunity, he took it.
As far as just, man, next year it's going to be wild, man. Before you all go on to the offensive line, continuity is just such a part of it.
Yeah.
What can you say about some of those younger guys, like from just being around, like maybe a Brandon Baker or NATO? I mean, I guess people know about Cole Hudson and DJ Campbell.
Yeah.
You got to see a little bit of Gooseby.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think of some of those other guys? What have you seen about them maybe previews?
I mean, in terms of continuity, you know, it was probably the closest group that we've had all year this last year. So I have no worries or any doubt in my mind that they're going to be just as good as we were last year. But, you know, it's going to be a battle because they've got a lot of good guys like Nato, Cole, Connor, DJ, Trevor, Brandon, Kojo. You know, I mean, it's a good group, so it's going to be competitive to see who gets at those jobs.
Hayden, what's something about the O-lineman that the media don't really understand? We see there's not as many people in here that there were other days, and you guys are people, you guys have stories. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's a humbling position. You don't get thanked a lot, but you definitely get the spotlight when you mess up. So it's an interesting role that we're all in. But you know, I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
What does it mean to you to play such a selfless position on the field?
I feel like it kind of shows who I am. You know, I'm a pretty selfless guy. I have a servant's heart. At least that's what my fiance tells me. And I'm always trying to just do something good for the person next to me or for those who need it. So.
And what will the NFL team be getting when they select you?
Will they be getting?
What will they be getting?
I can't really hear you.
What will they be getting in you?
Oh, in me, yeah. I mean, they'll get a guy who's going to have a lot of grit, who's obsessed with the game, and also a guy who's going to go out in the community and make a difference.
Did you get a chance to meet with the Bears?
I think informally. Yeah, that we had a big informal session 2 days ago, and it was 3 hours and 30 minutes of straight informal. So it's kind of hard to remember who I met with, but I did good in all of them.
You said you have a fiance and you have a wedding date?
Yeah, getting married April 5th.
So you're getting it done. I guess you'll be getting it done before you know where you're headed.
Yeah.
If you guys talk about like spots you'd like to go or kind of.
I mean, listen, wherever I end up, I'll be extremely grateful. If I had a choice, I'd love to stay in Texas, play for the Texans, the Cowboys. That'd be awesome. But I mean, she knows what she's signing up for. We've talked about it a lot, and she's already been living with me, so we're kind of used to it.
Where's the wedding taking place?
Back in Katy. We met in high school sweethearts. So getting married back home. Yep. Thank you.
Are you planning on doing all these doing the drills here? You could save some for pro day.
Yeah, I'll do the shuttles. I'll do the 5-2-5 and the L, and then I'll do the drills. But everything else I'll do at pro day.
How was the adjustment?
Be a scout here for a second. Is there any defensive lineman that you've gone up against that might be flying under the radar, or someone who you think is really going to perform well at the next level?
I mean, our guys, for sure, Alfred and Vernon. I mean, I don't think Vernon did a whole lot here, but he's a hell of a ball player. Same with Alfred. I can't give those guys enough credit. Last year they were the backups for Sweat and Murph, and they got their shot, and there was no drop off. So I think that speaks a lot to their game and how they prepare.
What would you say is the single most important trait for an offensive lineman to have to be successful?
Short-term memory, for sure. We're playing some of the best athletes, sometimes guys that are a lot more athletic than us, and we have to realize that you're going to get another chance to fix that rep. And if you let it mess with you, then you're going to be messed up the rest of the game.
What was your favorite play that you've put on tape over these past couple of years?
Favorite play? Oh, I mean, there was a play during the Clemson game. We ran a screen. I ran downfield with Gunner, threw my guy. It was awesome. It was that was a lot of fun. But I mean, anytime we scored versus OU, that was always fun. I mean, I've had a lot. I honestly can't pick one of my favorites.
What has it been like working with Kelvin, obviously the rest of the offensive line group? How have you guys grown together just throughout the year?
Yeah, when Kelvin was a freshman and I was a sophomore, we were roommates that whole year whenever we traveled. So I got to grow really close emotionally and personally with him. And, our relationship has only grown from there. I've always been close with Jake, extremely close with Jake and, the rest of the guys. So we're a really tight-knit group for sure.
What's it like just being here together and being able to take the next step to the next level?
It's pretty surreal, honestly. Like four out of the 5 guys are going to the combine. I mean, I don't know if that's happened or if it'll ever happen again. I mean, it's something to be grateful for sure. And, I mean, when I saw them, I mean, I hugged them longer than I should have. I mean, I miss these guys so much. They're my brothers. So it's a lot of fun getting to see all these guys out here.
Hayden, what's kind of the focus for you to want to prove out here this weekend?
That I'm one of the best offensive linemen in the draft. I can play all 5 well. I have film playing 4 out of the 5 in game. Just proving that I definitely belong here.
You mentioned that you moved from center, you played some tackle as well. How important was that versatility coming into college, and what was kind of the emphasis for Coach Flood to kind of instill that in you and your game?
So, Flood never recruited me. When I got to campus, he then got hired. So he got to campus, I played left tackle, he didn't really know me, and so he put me at right guard, right? So I had to take it upon myself to, okay, this guy doesn't know who I am, I'm going to show him that I'm versatile. And, I learned right guard. I think that spring I was playing right tackle too, and then he moved me over to left, and so I got pretty acclimated pretty fast to, what he wanted of me, and I feel like I did a pretty good job at meeting his standards.
Of course, with Flood, can you kind of talk about his development, kind of how he goes about teaching offensive linemen as well?
Yeah, he's an extremely good coach. You can definitely see that with how I've improved personally over the years. But the way that he communicates with us, we communicate in sound bites, so it's extremely important for us to know what he's saying and how to regurgitate it back to him.
Talk about getting put at right guard, because that had to be like a bit of a ego check or whatever.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. It was a lot because I was recruited as left tackle everywhere, and then I get to campus, and he's like, "Hey, you're going to go to third string right guard." I'm like, "All right." So, but I went to UT to be a part of that culture, change the culture, and bring it back, and so I bought in, and I think it definitely benefited me.
You guys adjusted, the Texas program adjusted well to the SEC.
Yeah.
You individually, what type of adjustment was that?
We knew what we were getting into, and we wanted to see if it was true. I don't think there was really any adjustment. My game didn't change, but definitely improved. I got a lot more opportunities to play against some really good guys. I mean, we play against Michigan, Clemson, Georgia twice, A&M, Ohio State. We played against a lot of good guys, and it didn't really change my game.
Who at Texas in that younger group should maybe watching next year?
Trevor Gooseby. I mean, we all saw what he could do versus A&M, getting thrown in there in the fire really early, and he didn't blink. He was super calm the whole game, and I'll put my money on him. And Cole Hudson and DJ are going to do great. Connor's going to do great. That right tackle spot is open, so I'm interested to see who's going to battle there and get that.
I guess what do you want to be remembered for as a Longhorn?
Just being a program guy, being a guy who made a difference in the community. I know that I started Pause for a Cause kind of late in my career, but I feel like I made a difference in that arena. But I'll always be a Longhorn for life.
Hey, I was going to ask you, we know you like Pinkerton's barbecue.
Yeah.
Do you think beef ribs or brisket are the peak of barbecue in Texas?
Like, are you asking me either or?
Yeah, which one would you get if you had no other option?
I'd get both.
But out of one or the other?
I'm a big rib guy. I do ribs over brisket, yeah.
Okay, I like that.
But I'll never turn down brisket, so don't get me wrong.
How much brisket do you think you can consume in one sitting?
Oh, man, I don't know. Whenever I go there, I usually ask for half a pound. That's pretty normal. That's with other stuff, too. But then, I probably won't eat the rest of the day because I feel bad about myself.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. All right, yeah.
Congrats on the good football.
Thank you. Yeah, Pinkerton's is great. Shout out Grant.
Shout out Grant.
Yeah.
I haven't met him yet. I hope I do.
He's a great guy. UT alum.
Lead me.
Yeah. Hey.
All right, thanks, Hayden.
All right.